Hey, what's going on guys? Fitz here and welcome to another Torchlight 3 video. Today we'll take a look at the Gear N Goblins update that was just released a few hours ago for all platforms except for the Switch. So if you're on PC, PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, you can download the update now. This update is centered around the Halloween. They said they're working on some larger content updates, but they wanted to drop this content for the season along with some much needed bug fixes. I've already downloaded the update and played for a while. There are still some issues, but they are working on them right now. There's a lot in the patch notes. I'm not going to read everything in there. I'll focus on the important ones or things that caught my attention. I'll put the patch notes linked in the video description if you want to check it out for yourself. So without further ado, let's get into it. There are new legendary items to collect. As you can see from this screenshot, the Dusk Mage is wearing a full Ancient Ember set, and one of the two new legendary weapons that appears to be the Lightning Baller Mace. The two new weapons and the Ancient Embers gear set can only be found in Fazir's dungeon. There are three new pet variations: the Midnight Cat, the Spooky Retriever, and the Dragonling Spirit. You can get them just like any other pet. Rescue them in pet cages after you defeat a boss. There are 6 new fort decorations. You can now obtain these from the random fort decoration bags found in the existing contracts. So 2 new decorations have been added to each contract. We also get 2 new affixes to Fazir's dungeon. The anchored negative modifier disables all movement skills and speed shrines, while the essential positive modifier gives monsters a chance to drop essence, and the boss can drop a legendary essence. Essence are used to enchant items. You can now buy Respectacles in town at the potion vendor for 2500 gold. Moving on to the update that everyone is waiting for: bug fixes and skill updates. Again, this is a long list, so if you want to read everything, you can find the link in the description just below this video. For the bug fixes, they fixed or reduced some crashes, server issues, and made some performance enhancements. They also made some fixes to the user interface, including the issue where players were unable to equip gear, unequip, use stash, sell to NPCs, or edit forts. They also made changes and fixes to the frontier map, the minimap, character creation, party play, and chat, like this issue where hardcore forged and railmaster characters do not stay dead if they die while in a party. Talk about Halloween. They also made fixes to the localization, like for the missing or wrong skill description and untranslated lines. They also made several fixes and changes on the gamepad. Environment changes. They shortened Fields of Unrest as well as reduced monster density in that area so you don't overlevel and don't take too long to clear your way. They slightly lower the XP to level from 2 to 3 and 3 to 4 to more consistently reach a level as you clear the first dungeons. However, they increase the amount of XP to level from 4 to 5. It's really fast to level up at these levels, so this may not be noticeable at all. They slightly raise the XP to level from 6 through 41 to more accurately accommodate additional XP from champions. Now, this will require more testing on how this will affect everyone. Is it really that big of a gap if you add up all the required XP to level from 6 through 41? When I was leveling my characters, I always over-leveled the quests or area level. I'll keep you posted once I have more information about this. They also made fixes to the portals, but I have to tell you that after the update I had a lot of issues warping to my fort or any other location. I also had issues going into my Vizier's dungeon portal. Hopefully this will get sorted out soon. They added some first time cinematics and made some fixes to it. They also fixed or made changes to several areas. For example, they moved a pillar in the Trial of Fire to prevent clipping. This part is lengthy, so you can check out the complete patch notes by clicking the link in the video description. Moving on to items in gear. They fixed an issue where ridiculous gear lock buff does not apply in combat while in a party. If you're playing on ridiculous, you should be getting an additional 20% gear lock. They also increased the drop rate for legendary gear at higher levels. So this is level 46 and above on higher difficulties. This is a bit more of a significant change for ridiculous difficulty than for painful or hard, but they did increase the rate a bit. Consumables. They added Gear N Goblins gift bundle that's only available in multiplayer boxes on Halloween weekend. They also reduced the drop rate of life-bound scrolls, so you're not sitting on so many of them from 1 in a 20 chance to a 1 in a 40 chance. I actually have one stash tab full of life-bound scrolls even after I sold so many of them, so in my opinion this is a welcome change. They also nerfed the enchanting recipe drop rate. They made fixes to Vizier's dungeon, but I don't see anywhere in the patch notes the fix for the missing boss. There's this particular boss or map that I really couldn't finish because the boss won't spawn. I will need to play more to test it. They made several fixes and changes to relics. I'll mention the notable ones. For the Cold Heart, they adjusted the Ice Golem base damage to 150% weapon damage, matching the tooltip description. Electrode's Chaotic Strike's Tier 1 bonus now correctly fires 3 storms instead of 2. For the Blood Drinker, they fixed it so Blood Drinker's Bloodseeker's Tier 1 milestone now heals as it says. They also fixed a Tier 2 of the Spinning Blade skill that did not apply the bleed effect to enemies. For the Bane, they fixed an issue where leveling the Venomous Maw skill does not increase its damage over time. They also fixed an issue where Fanged Maw was using the wrong skill for the spider on the Tier 2 milestone. They also fixed it so Bane's Spectral Spider now does poison attacks with its tier bonus. They also addressed an issue where Bane minions were not getting the bonus from the Puppet Master passive. Moving on to monster fixes and changes. They further reduced the monster hit points on painful and ridiculous difficulty levels from levels 2 to 20 to give us more time to progress and build up damage dealing skills, gear, etc. This should help the feeling of slog on the higher difficulties, especially against champions and bosses. They also fixed an issue where minion quality champions were getting affixes like Stormbringer. They reduced damage from the Netherwell missiles from 150% monster damage to 50% monster damage. They also increased the drop chance for legendary items from champions and bosses. They also made changes and fixes to bosses and character classes. You can read the complete patch notes by clicking the link in the video description. And that concludes the Gear N Goblins update. If you enjoyed this video, you can click the like button. We do appreciate it, and maybe consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.